So birthday on January 3rd. Like in college, you were probably still off. So like
Back
in
home.
college, yeah. So when you were going to Kansas and also, gosh, I should know it. I have it on the tip of my tongue. Preston Taylor's college.
Butler.
Butler. Gosh,
Butler. Yep.
it
Yep.
would have
Butler
taken me too
Community.
long. It would have taken me another 15 minutes of the podcast to get that one, I think. You were probably off for Christmas break. So you never had college birthday.
I did not.
Man.
I'd say I think it's one of the worst timing because it comes right after New Year's Eve.
Yep.
People are either partied out or they're doing dry January.
Yeah, I think I'm going to break that.
You're not going to make it.
I don't think
3
so.
days in, you're like, I quit.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I'm already like, it's Friday, you know? It's kind of like a thing. And I don't really not usually. I don't drink a lot in one day as it is, but I don't know. It's early. I haven't had one yet. But I'm already like, nah, we'll see. You know, especially when it's cold, like we're going to do a fire. We talked about that. That's kind of the tough part.
Yeah, you just want to sit out there and just drink a beer.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Drink something heavy, probably
I don't
a little microbrew.
Yeah, I don't need 30. Just need one.
Yeah.
I'm just hanging, right? Social aspect of it, right? I'm just hanging. I don't need 70.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So you never really got to kind of experience. It kind of sucks, I guess. I mean, especially when you celebrate it after or before, it's not the same. Where it probably doesn't feel the same, especially when you're younger. So that doesn't even count either.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even know what we did when we were in Cincinnati. We probably played the day of your game. I don't even know. I'd have to look.
I feel like that's the thing. You went from college straight to working in the NFL. So yeah, like that was at least the final week of the year. So what are you doing then too?
Yeah. Did they have a week 18? No, they did not when we were 2014.
Yeah, 17. But I felt like they still did the schedule where it ended early January.
Yeah,
so. I don't remember being off. I don't remember being off for my birthday. I'll say that.
Well, yeah. I mean, we made the playoffs in 14, so we definitely weren't.
Yeah, same with 15. When I was,
true. Yeah. Same with 15.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Vikings, did they make it when you were at?
No, they were terrible. Christian Ponder was our quarterback.
Got it.
Yeah.
Who was your running back?
Adrian Peterson.
No, still okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, we had him. He was healthy.
Best receiver was
Greg Jennings, maybe.
Really, in 13? That's tight.
When we traded, or they didn't trade for him. They picked him up after the Packers got rid of him. I think he was our best receiver. We didn't have big name guys.
I mean, I remember looking at Greg Jennings' numbers. His numbers are they're pretty nice.
He had Aaron Rodgers at the prime of his career.
Yeah, true.
You know, because he had one good year in Minnesota, and then after that, it was.
Yeah, he was older.
Yep. And he fell off the map after that first year. But the first year, he was productive.
Yeah.
We had Matt Castle step in for about half the year because we realized Christian Ponder sucked so bad. They were trying to hold on hope because he was the 12th overall pick.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson he at least was healthy that whole year, but wasn't like one of his 2,000-yard years.
Right, of course. Yeah. Also, I mean, I guess he was on his downswing, a little older then in 13, right? I mean, it's 13 season, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Anyway, all right. Well, happy birthday. Sorry that you have to do a podcast on your birthday, but it's cool that it's on a Friday. You guys going out to eat?
Yeah, we'll do something tonight. I already got a cake. I have not went into it yet, but I came home from work with the cake, so that was nice.
Ice cream
with a nice little. I don't think
cake?
so.
Okay.
No, but it's got the numbers 36, so that felt.
Surreal?
I don't feel 36. I just don't. You know.
I wouldn't even tell you how it's supposed to feel.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't know how it's supposed to. But I guess when you're 21 and you're like, man, 36 would be so old, and then you get 36 and you're like, I still feel great, man. You know,
yeah,
and I'm still living life and doing everything that I want to do, except I just have money to do it now.
Yeah, no, that's a huge difference. Yeah, back in college and stuff, you don't have all the money to do what you want to do because you're just trying to survive at times.
Yeah, so we'll probably take it easy though. We'll go out and get something.
Of course. Football tomorrow.
And then we got football tomorrow, football Sunday, going to the Chiefs Broncos game. But I think half my friends in my friend group here text me they're doing dry January. So I was like, okay, we're out.
Shut up, really?
There's nobody to hang out with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Chris doing it?
No. So It's like,
Even
it's,
then.
yep, exactly.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get us started here. We were right. We did college on earlier this week and came out with our picks. I'll be honest with you, the Penn State one, I was sweating that the whole time.
You had to be.
It's the half point. It was the half point, right? Like I really didn't want the half point. I mean, shoot, I probably should have bought it down. Maybe bought the half point to get it down to 10, but I hate doing that crap. I feel like the value's not enough, but might have been there because that was right on the one score away from them getting within 10. And even at the end was a possibility for them to do it. To even, I don't know. I just was sweating the whole time. So I felt like I got lucky on the minus 10.5 Penn State. I did.
That's one of those games though that you're interested until the final second because of the bet. Because
the
game's done, but
it was so done.
But you are so invested. Yeah, the game was over by like halftime. You could tell like this isn't. And I was on the other side. I ended up putting a little bit on Boise plus 11. So I was invested too. And when Penn State scored with like 5 minutes, I was like, we're done. They're not going to go score. Yeah, like I'm done. I'm not watching this.
And they try to run Genty to get him to 100 there on that last drive. To get him over the century mark for that game, and it ended up being 28 yards short of was it Sanders, right, or somebody?
Yep, Barry Sanders. Yep.
Yeah, ended up being, and they were trying to get him to that point as well. Get that one break, a big run to get them that. Anyway, who do you think's a better running back, Scatterbo or Genty?
That is actually a very good question. Very good question. I don't even think I have an answer because I think they're both so much better than everybody else. Yeah, it's so impressive. Watching Scatterby versus Texas, I kind of was like, is he better? But I don't know. I don't want to be bold and say that because they're both pretty damn good. What's your take?
Man, I don't know if I drafted any one of them because both of them have gotten so many carries. We saw Scatterby were puking on the sideline, stuff like that. Those guys get absolutely abused. So drafting them in the NFL, I think, is risky just based off, wear and tear. But it's really hard to say Genty because of that big couple, that huge catch Scatterbo had there late in the fourth. You know what I mean? To separate and what I don't know, it was a 40-yard catch or whatever it was. It's pretty impressive, man, when a back can get out there and kind of it's not offensive pass interference, but that's not defensive pass interference.
It was not. The replay, when you first texted me that, I had to watch the replay and I was like, oh, that was a nice push off. But to your point, that makes it more valuable. If you know how to, because every receiver pushes off. If you know how to do it without getting caught, and he did.
I would lean Scatterbo, in my opinion, only because of the, Power 4 conferences and who he's been playing week in and week out. And I think, obviously, Genty's not on Boise State. They're worse. Obviously, if Scatterbo is not on Arizona State, they're worse. But just based off talent he's playing and what he's showing that he can do, I'm gonna lean that way. Both are good backs. Both obviously are huge for their team. So I don't know. I mean, I hate when you do that. When you we're basically going to get our answer now on who's a better back by how well they do in the NFL. And I don't know if that's fair. Like systems are different and coaches are different, and teams and offensive lines are different. I don't know.
Yep. The passing game. Is it like the Titans where they can just load the box because there's no passing game? Are you playing with? Yeah, you're playing with the Bengals where they can't do that. Yeah, there's so many factors. I think now the question is who gets drafted first and where do they even get drafted? Because I bet I would predict they go around 28-30 first round, late first round.
Are we banking on 2 running backs in the first round? We probably haven't seen that in 5 years. I don't even know. I'd have to look that up. I mean, it's got to be some time that we've had 2 backs in the first round.
That's true, but neither make it past the second round.
Ooh. Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean,
like a safe bet.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, dude, we're going to see a bet like that probably. How many running backs are chosen? Maybe I don't even know. They kind of have those floating out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because if you look how well, you can't go by Brooks at the Carolina Panthers because he's played maybe 13 snaps total the entire year. So I don't know if that's a good example. But Bijan's played out pretty well, right? I mean,
he has.
What is he, second best running back graded on PFF? Second or third, I think I saw there. I mean, that's pretty sweet.
He's solid. I don't know if he's worth the top 10 pick that he was, but at least, yes, you're getting that value.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Anyway, hit the Penn State bet. You, dude, it's weird you kind of everyone, when all the public is saying how great a game's going to be, we saw how bad the game was. So like it's a fade the public situation. Now I didn't see Ohio State killing them. I may have leaned the other way. So, but Oregon 2.5. I don't know. Was it a dead bet in the first half? Was it a dead bet in the first quarter?
I like to say first half just because there's a lot of game. Things can switch in a hurry, especially in college. But by first half, you're like, hey, if you took them live at 14, that's live.
Yeah.
But not at 2.5. That was, because Oregon wasn't just struggling to stop them; they were struggling to get anything offensive and protect Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, I had a teaser with that. Got him up to 9.5. Flat, bro. That sucks because I had Notre Dame and Arizona State in the other two, so that'd have been a nice little hit. But that's why they say it's always tough to tease college. It's tough to tease NFL. We've seen that this year. You know that too well as well. I don't know.
Yeah,
but Oregon was tough. But it goes again. Hey, it's your college streak. That's why I was like, I just didn't want to touch that game, dude.
Yeah. We should have went with the Notre Dame under, but that's all right.
Yep, I got that. I had that, so I was nice. I did
on
too.
That.
Although
that's
that came down to the wire as well. Man, that was going to get close, especially late in the game. There, how were they going to play trying to run out the clock? Thankfully, it came out in my favor on the Notre Dame side. Not a best bet though.
I texted my friend, and I was like, because he had total points over 19.5 for Georgia, and I was like, here's what's going to happen. I have Notre Dame money line, and I have under 46. I said, Georgia's going to win 24-23. They're going to score 2 touchdowns late. Notre Dame will kick a field goal. Because the fourth quarter, Georgia had kind of taken the momentum.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could see Notre Dame grinding down, getting a field goal. And then Georgia scoring again late. And I was like, I'm going to be so pissed.
Well, that's the thing is Georgia got down. They got down. And I kind of said that on the podcast here earlier this week. They can't get down because then that forces Stockton to kind of really bring it back. Notre Dame's the same way. You don't want Riley Leonard passing the ball, which they didn't have to, right? They kind of really could grind it out, run it, and they ran the ball against Georgia.
Yep, they did.
So everyone's already counting Notre Dame out again. I was listening today about, I think they could win the Natty, bro. They're that physical at the line, you give yourself a shot.
They absolutely have a shot.
Yeah, and everyone's choosing Ohio State now because of how well they looked.
That's going to be the easy bet. Every public you almost want to take Texas just to fade the public because everyone's seen Ohio State smash 2 teams now.
I think I would just jump right to Texas money line personally. Just go.
Would you? You just take it.
Yeah, just take it.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, we'll get into this next podcast, but I also feel like that Penn State Notre Dame. I don't know what that line. I haven't looked at it yet, but early on, I'm thinking under again in that one.
That's fair. I think that's a good bet. That's fair.
Yeah,
but all right. Anyway, we'll get show the quick graphics there. I'm trying to get back. We both have tied in wins, but I got 34 losses. But I'll get there. We have some more college coming in, so I can kind of catch up there because I got kind of hot with college late, I guess. Although I was pretty poor in middle of the year, man, I think I lost every college bet for 4 weeks in a row, but I hit every NFL bet. So it was kind of the 2-2 vibes.
Yep.
I don't know. So anyway, trying to catch up. I was going to mention the bowl situation. You told me to bring that up. Surprisingly, a lot of pros have been staying away from bowls this year, right? But looking at my action just for the bowls week, okay, I'm 15-10-1. I'm up 9.1 units.
That's solid.
Yeah, very good. This could be my best bowl season as long as I don't blow it up here. I have +9 North Texas, but I bet that when the bowls came out, you could have got as high as +14. I know no one's betting on this game, as you shouldn't. This one was kind of a mess. Quarterbacks out left and right. But I did have North Texas, I thought, was they could score the football so they could battle. Anyway, I have +9, so we'll see how it shakes out here for North Texas and how they play against Texas State because it's about to go into halftime. It's 14-16. Texas State's up by 2. So it's going to be a close one. You got anything on the night? Minnesota VT?
Minnesota -7.
Oh, really?
I think they're out to 8.5.
What a great – I got 10 right here, baby.
Oh, damn. That popped. Okay, yeah, I took them a couple of weeks ago at -7.
Oh, shit. You got such a good number based off who's out and who's in. BT's also like on their third string quarterback because their two guys are injured. Drones and the other guy are both injured, and didn't play the last game. So damn, you got a pretty good number here. I just wonder, the bowl games are crazy. Was it too good to be true? But usually with this kind of situation, it's solid, right? When there's that many people out, it still reigns true because game reps mean something, and a lot of these guys don't have game reps.
Yeah. This was good information from a podcast that I like that went over who was, and they basically alluded to the fact that, hey, Virginia Tech's not going to have everybody, and PJ Fleck's like 5-0 in bowl games or something. Like he's really good at bowl games. So there were like two things where I was like, okay, I'm going to jump on this now. And it pretty quickly moved out to 7.5, then 8.5 I saw last night, and now we're out to 10.
Yeah, I took the 10. So
no, you did. So you still like him. Well, on the same podcast, he talked about if you had just chased the steam on every bowl game, so those huge line movements, and you went with the line movement, even at the worst number,
still covered.
You still had a winning percentage. Yep. If you had done that every time, it was, I can't remember the record, but you were still plus units, even taking the worst number. So
makes sense. The only one I kind of got bit on this year was it wasn't the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Sorry. The
Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Yeah, I know. It was the one, the Cheez-It Bowl there, South Carolina. Everybody's talking about South Carolina. Bama should have been in. I don't know about that. Both lost.
Right. Yeah. Especially Bama. I took Bama minus 13. Ugh.
Man, a live bet would have been tight there, though. They were down 16-0, I think, to Michigan. That'd have been tight.
Do you think? It was early enough, though. I don't feel like it would have been plus number still. Maybe.
I didn't look. I didn't even watch it.
I didn't either. Same. Yeah.
I was on site. So anyway, let's get going. We got a lot to cover in terms of the NFL. It's kind of a mess. A lot of pros are scared to death of this week, which rightfully so. I'm not talking like bet your bankroll or anything that you've earned, hopefully profitable to this point is kind of dive into week 18. But a lot of things out there that you can bet on, right? We were talking about on text props, players trying to get to a certain number, right, to get those bonuses. You know what I mean? So that's kind of at play here. And then you got some playoff implications kind of floating around there, the Buccaneers, and then obviously the Bengals are trying to get in, stuff like that. So we'll touch base on the first one Saturday, tomorrow. This was the first one I looked at mostly because, it's the first game tomorrow is Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. Here's what I got. And this is the classic quarter play. I got under 42. And it's a weather play.
Okay.
It's a weather play is why I swooped in here. It's currently still at 29 degrees. I'm looking at my notes from what I also wrote last for this. It's at 29 degrees and almost 50-mile-an-hour winds exactly right now, still what it's at. So I like that a lot. Plus, you can also factor into the whole, I don't even know, was Zappe on the roster? I don't know how long he's been on the roster. It doesn't really necessarily matter. It's the last game, but I don't know. Yes, he's playing, which I wish DTR was playing because I might factor in a little bit more to that under. But Ford's out, so the running backs are kind of banged up. So I don't know how they're going to treat this. The offense has got to be a little handicapped. Well, it already is, but you know what I'm saying. They're just not. Weather's bad. Ford's out, so the running game's going to be rough. Zappe's in, and I do have a little tidbit on the Zappe situation. It's kind of a random, but I know you like these random ones. So I went back to 2023 for Zappe because he obviously hasn't played this season. And any game, because he obviously didn't have a ton of snaps early in the year, but he did later in the year. Any game that Zappe had 14 or more attempts last season, which was actually a decent bit of games, he has an average of 3.5 sacks allowed.
Okay.
Looking for a sack prop here. I went ahead and went for it. Vinoy over half a sack at minus 125 is what I got. And then I don't know why. You know what's crazy? This pisses me off now that I remember looking this up, doing some research. Remember the Giants game you went to earlier this year?
Yeah.
I went for a best bet, Matabuki.
Yeah.
He didn't have a sack in that game. I think he had 3 hurries, but he didn't have a sack. The next 2 games, sack in the next one, sack in the next one.
Of course. Yeah.
So I'm going back. It's at plus 155, which I love it. And I'm going back to it. Matabuki over half a sack for him. So not both. Yeah, took them both. Not best bets. We're not doing sack best bets. I've kind of slowed down, so I'm going to step away. But Cleveland Browns at Baltimore Ravens under 42 is a best bet. I have no idea if you have any feel in this game. I know there's obviously some implications here for division winner.
Yeah.
Here for the Ravens and obviously the Steelers in the next game. But I have no idea what your thoughts are here.
Yeah, I have no bets on this game.
Okay.
I know the Ravens have to win, but they don't have to cover by margin. So I immediately looked at that 20-point spread, and I'm like, no. I have no interest in Cleveland. I have no interest in Baltimore. I looked at the total, too, and I had the same thoughts because I was like, I don't know how this plays out. I don't think Baltimore cares to win by margin. I think, for me, the only thing I was considering would be a first half bet on the Ravens. That would be the only consideration here, is they get out to a big lead fast. Or a Browns team total under.
What and I'll get you that. It's depending on what book you get. You can get actually first half you can get below 10, but other books you can get plus 12 Browns. So it's kind of all over the place for that. You said team total Browns is 6.
Ugh, nope, never mind.
Okay.
That's the team total?
That's really? What I got. I would probably do over 6.
Full game or first half? That's first half. Okay.
Sorry. Yes. Full game. Okay. I don't have full game. I have to look at my book. Sorry.
Yeah, action. I'm seeing the same thing here on action. It's just first half, second half. It's not broken down by full game.
I'll get you full game. Team total Browns full game. Can bounce around here, but the 9.5 is one you can get. That's minus 135. 10.5 is plus 115. So you're kind of in a weird spot there. I'm not touching it just based off looking at that. I could see a 10, but at minus 135, not worth it.
I'm looking now because it appears that I can get on DK in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
They took it away. Action shows that I can get minus 9.5. I was going to take it, but
minus 9.5. What? When you juice
first half, yep. Minus 115.
Oh, okay.
So it was a little bit better than what you were saying, but now I'm on the DK app and they do not have like anything offered. This has been a problem. I was looking yesterday and there's no props offered.
Oh,
there's
dude,
just
I got
nothing offered. It sucks, man.
Vegas wants no part of it.
I'm glad you didn't throw a prop on here because I was like, I don't know what to do for props. Like I've got my incentive sheet pulled up. I figured we could hit on at some point, but yeah, half these games just there's nothing there. So,
yep. So, okay. Yeah, I also went under with the weather and plus, obviously, the Browns. They suck. I don't know what they're playing for. They're trying to mail it in. See, if Winston plays, I mean, there's points involved. But
big time.
Yeah,
it changes, though.
I know. But he's not playing. They got Zappy in, who's definitely better than DTR, but how much, I don't know. So, threw some stuff on some sacks action, and then, obviously, got the under. So, I know you don't have a lot. But, Texans at Titans. Bro, I looked at this pretty good. I know you have this on the list. I have no idea what you see in this.
Really?
What you got.
That's awesome.
I have no idea.
I know what you see. I'm on the over 37.
Okay, that was the only thing that was a maybe.
Okay.
That was the only thing that was a maybe.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these games were just like hard passes for me, but I was looking for some totals. I ended up making 3 total bets. I don't know how I got there, but I did. Yeah. But I went with the one. That's just a low number, obviously. Yeah. There's going to be a little bit of rain, 10-mile-an-hour wind. That doesn't bother me. We've talked about this before. It's the 20-mile-an-hour point where I get bothered by it. So 1, it's just a low number. 2, we're going to get a little Mason Rudolph action. They have been scoring more points. Titans defense has quit in a lot of games that I've watched. I know we're not going to get, I assume, I should say, Texans starters, I would assume, are out based on this line. But then on the podcast, I heard that they say they're not out.
I have not seen that a lot, but go ahead.
Yeah. So anyways, for me, I was like, I don't care if the starters are in or out for the Texans. I'm taking the over here because the Titans defense is so bad. And when you put Mason Rudolph and Will Levis in, because I thought it was going to be just Mason Rudolph, but then I heard they're going to do both quarterbacks, which is like, I don't know why teams do that shit. This game doesn't matter to the Texans. Let's preface that. That's why it's a low total. That's why the spread's a little bit weird. It's because this game means nothing to the Texans. They're locked into the 4th spot no matter what happens, win or lose. For me, just going through this, low number, I don't think defenses, like say they rest a couple starters on defense, the Texans even, they have been liable to big plays, and that's all the Titans can do when they've scored. Like when they've hit overs, it's because they hit a couple big plays. Maybe Will Levis because of a pick six or throws it backwards to the other team like he has done a few times. So this is a little bit of a coin flip bet, but I'm also willing to make the bet because I think the Texans will give up a couple big plays, and I don't think the Titans are going to keep fighting until the end. They haven't shown that they wanted to fight the last 4 games of the year.
Dude, so I don't know if you saw this. You know, the Titans might be the worst ever ATS team in the history of the NFL.
What is the record this year?
So their record could be, it's 2-14
Cool.
ATS this season. That's insane. So they possibly could go 2-15, but it's also a little bit dicey because obviously there's an extra game, right? The worst team ever is 3-13.
Okay.
So if they
win, still worse.
Yeah, correct.
By percentage wise,
yes.
God, so, what a good team to fade.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to no part in the spread. It's like I don't care if the Texans play their starters. I'm not taking the Titans if it's all backups, and I'm not taking the Texans because I'm not high on them either.
I'm not either, but I want to take the Texans just for the fact of like, dude, come on. The Titans are terrible.
Yeah.
I know the Texans are much better, but still, it's like battle of the worst there. That's why a lot of these bets in Week 18 are a coin flip. But you know, we'll see how it shakes out.
So you don't think that number's weird if the Texans starters play?
No. I mean, the thing is, a lot of times when the number's that low, it's kind of like an Army-Navy thing. It's usually going to be under. But I saw that a lot of the monies are still on the over 37. But like, let me see that's another thing is like, I was looking at players that might be in line for bonuses here. Tony Pollard's really the only true one that's in line for a bonus. Needs 83 yards for 250,000, and he needs 2 rushing TDs for $200,000 bonus. And he's been banged up this year too, as well, if I'm not mistaken. Tony Pollard has, right? So
yeah, last few weeks he has.
Correct. He's questionable for this game. I'm assuming he'll play due to the bonus that's possibly to get here. Spears is out obviously still for them, so I don't even know. Rudolph is 0-5 against the spread this season. It's just like there's a lot of question marks here for this team. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, just take the over, hope for some bombs.
Because they were saying on VSiN earlier today, they were like, a lot of pros have looked at certain numbers in Week 18 here in the last few years and have loved bets. And it always is like, oh, shit. As soon as the game starts, they already realize it's a dead bet. Because you don't know how coaches are going to sub, who they're going to play later on in the game and whatnot. So even if the number looks great, who knows? So a lot of time, stay away things. But if you like bro.
There's a lot of stay away games this week. I agree. A lot of stay away games because you don't know. But.
Yep. I don't have anything in this. I do like the over 37. I might take a stab at it, but I'm going to hang out. If it is, it's like a unit for me. Like it ain't nothing crazy just because but we don't know.
Yeah.
Panthers at Falcons. I kind of got turned on to this a little bit. I'm on the total here. I don't love this bet, but I do like it. I have over 48 in this game. Mostly because the Atlanta Falcons pass rush sucks. Yeah. They don't have one. And last week, Bryce Young, the Panthers, they were at Tampa Bay. Bryce Young was pressured on 68+% of his snaps last week.
Yikes.
So the Buccaneers really got off of him. Really got after him. Panthers over first half, something to consider, is 13-3 this year. And they're hitting on an average of 5.9 points per game. So I'm banking on some time to throw for my boy Bryce Young here
okay.
Against a really bad Atlanta Falcons defense. And I have a feeling based on what happens with the Bucs game, they're going to let Penix go here a little bit. They want to see what this cat has. And he hasn't really graded that bad. I don't know if you took a peek at some of his PFF stuff. He's actually grading decent. So I think they let Penix go here a little bit. Try to
get have to. They have nothing to lose.
That's right. And see what he's got.
Yep.
The only thing that's kind of concerning, Falcons pass coverage, actually, I didn't know this, is the 7th best in the league.
Yeah, that's been the good part of their team. It's just they don't have a pass rush.
They don't have a pass rush, and they're horrible at tackling. 29th worst tackling team.
Yikes.
So that's a little bit concerning. So I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm not betting it. Adam Thielen, maybe. You know what I mean? There's short balls here,
no.
trying not to get tackled. Hey, he hit it last week. And if you look, I don't know. You tell me. If you look at this Panthers defense, right? Carolina Panthers defense. So many guys that are in. I got 2 corners out, 2 linebackers out, right? And their defensive line's, man, I don't know if you consider Clowney a stud or not. Yeah. Okay. So, like, their defensive line's not great. They got 2 linebackers out, 2 corners out. Like, so I just see Penix getting after it. I see Bryce Young with kind of a cleaner pocket than last week, right? Also slinging it. I don't know, man. I just see points in this game. I see letting them both quarterbacks get after it. Panthers don't have a running back. They barely had one last week. We saw that Blackshear only had like 8 carries or whatever it was. They brought 2 guys up from the practice squad, so they don't even have running back. So they don't let these kids throw.
Yeah.
So and it's in a dome.
You are the dome. You don't have to worry about weather. We have no weather. That is true. Yes. Good points there. The one part that scared me, so I took the under 48.
Oh, okay.
And I took the Panthers +8 as well. That is based pure on I think this team's going to keep fighting. That's pretty much it because, like you said, they have a lot of injuries. I feel better about that bet than the under 48, just because the one point that I was scared of when I took this bet is what you've alluded to. I think they're going to let Michael Penix go. And I think both teams are just going to play free because there's nothing to lose in this game. That's my one fear. When I look at this, though, Penix hasn't been bad at all, but I still think he wants to run versus wants to throw. And I think he wants to dink and dive. So I was counting on a slower football game here. And I'm counting on the Panthers showing up and still fighting because they're a team that has, in my mind, never given up. I know they got smacked by the Bucs last week, but they are a team that's never given up on their coach. Where when we talk about the Titans, that's a team that I feel like they are like deuces with their coach. They have no interest in playing for him, and I think it's different for the Panthers. So that was really my biggest thing for taking the under. Because I think there's going to be a lot of fight from the Falcons, obviously, because they want to win to give themselves a chance. I think the Panthers are going to keep showing up and playing, and I think we're going to have a slower football game. More dink and dunk, more runs, and it's just going to drag out to like a 27-20
game. I like mine better.
That's good. All right, you should.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Okay.
You bet it.
All right. But yes, I have 7.5, by the way, Panthers. So I'm kind of with you, but
okay, with on that at least. Okay,
gotcha. I'm with you on that one. All right, the game that you're going to be at, Kansas City Chiefs, at Denver Broncos, obviously. This is nuts. I wouldn't touch this game at all, but there's some numbers here. Yep, there's some numbers here that I just could not walk away from, and I think I got the worst of the number, honestly. I got Chiefs +10. It's at 10.5 now. Chiefs haven't been a double-digit underdog since 2014 versus Peyton Manning when we were in the league.
Whoa.
That's how long it's been. Double-digit dog for the Chiefs. Andy Reid is 5-0 all time as a double-digit dog against the spread. 5-0 all time.
I like it.
I know. No team. This is pretty nuts. Broncos are going for the best ever ATS as a favorite. No team has ever been 8-0. A team's been 7-0. No team has ever been 8-0 as a favorite this season. So Denver Broncos are looking to be the first team ever to go 8-0 ATS this season. And what better to go against the 2 stats that I just named against the Chiefs here. Now, I could see this game just kind of being a classic, just run the ball. We're up 7, field goal, 4, then back to 7 by the Broncos here. I just see Chiefs are trying to get to the playoffs, but don't want to embarrass themselves. Broncos just want to win and get to the playoffs themselves. Mm-hmm. Let's not go hog wild. We're trying to be healthy as we go in as well. I could see an over sliding in there. I mean, I don't see it being crazy, but I'm just saying, I just think this is going to be a boring game and they're just trying to try to coast. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I love the +10 Chiefs. I think it's a little high with the double-digit dog and all that. So anyway, what you got?
Yeah, best bet for me, Chiefs +10.5.
Oh, you got 10.5. Nice.
Yeah, 10.5. And I'll give you, I have a little bit different reason than you.
Okay.
My biggest thing is, one, this isn't the preseason. I think teams sometimes look at we're going to have the backups in. Well, you're not playing with 4th stringers now. You only have a 53-man roster, and 3 of those are special teams guys. So, like, you can't put all backups in. The biggest thing for me, Carson Wentz is playing for a future in the NFL. He's going to be starting this game. You get one shot to do it. He had his one shot last year with the Rams. I think they won that game in week 18. I think he's going to come out and play. My dad was also actually telling me him and Justin Ross in training camp had a lot of rapport in preseason. They're going to elevate Justin Ross this game to the active roster.
Oh, no way.
DeAndre Hopkins has incentives. He makes $500,000 with one touchdown. He also needs like 84 yards and then 9 catches to hit 250 each, so he could get an additional $1 million here. Obviously, I don't think the guy's going to get 9 catches, but I do bet he plays because they're going to want him to get that one touchdown. So I don't think the Chiefs come here full. I think they try to make it competitive too, because the narrative, which is true, is that the Chiefs don't want the Bengals in the playoffs. I'm not arguing that. But I think they don't want to come out and lose by 30 points here. Kind of like you said, they don't want to embarrass themselves right before the playoffs. That's not good momentum. Andy Reid, of course, come out and said all the right things. We're going to fight. We're going to play to win. Whatever. I'm more on Carson Wentz. I think he's going to prepare his ass off this game. And 10.5 is way too big of a number.
Yeah, 10.5 is a lot, man.
Way big. This is my favorite bet of the week. And it's not just because I'm a Chiefs guy and I'm going to be there. It's just way too big of a number. People always overreact to backups being in the game.
I need to cash out already early because you're on the same bet I am.
So I should too.
Yeah, I've seen on action. Wentz's biggest issue has been early downs. First and second down, he's 56 out of 59 QBs, in completion percentage over expected. So I guess on first and second down, he's a bit weak in his last 10 starts. It's over last 10 starts for him. Yep, sorry. I just think that, like, I know the Broncos have a pretty respectable D. I mean, I'm hoping if Kareem Hunt's out. I saw Travis Kelce's out for the
Chris
Chiefs.
Jones probably out.
Chris Jones probably out. Like, that's a little worrisome. Obviously the offensive line for the Chiefs has been kind of their biggest issue this year. I just have a little bit of worry there. Now, so I would not bet Hopkins over. I'll be clear there.
Yeah, and his props aren't listed. I couldn't find. There's
Correct.
0 Chiefs players listed. 0.
So I'll be clear there. But I'm curious to know, especially the last 3 weeks, Marquise Brown been tearing it up.
Play?
Well, he's been tearing it up. I'm assuming. I haven't seen anything. That would be a prop that I'd like to take a look at. Because slot guy, right? I know Noah Gray's not a scrub by any stretch, but, like, slot guys are nice because you got Surtain as the lead corner. I'm assuming he'll bounce between Hawkins and Worthy. So that's why I'm banking on Marquise Brown. Still, I know Mahomes is dishing the football because if you look at his targets, they're real nice, right? Marquise Brown's targets.
It's been pretty high for him. Yeah,
totally. Week 16 had 8. Week 17 had 7 targets. So 45 yards and 16, 46 yards in week 17. I don't know. I know it might not even be listed, so we might be talking about nothing here. But you know what I mean? But I was going to take a look at Marquise Brown's prop just to see if that'd be something to throw in. Because he's a slot guy, right? Probably get a couple looks, especially short little passes, of what you're going to do with Wentz. See what happens.
And I think that he probably is more likely to play because he's only been back for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So I think you want to keep breaking some of that rust off him. He's been pretty low snaps, so he may still be 50% of the snap share.
Yep.
But yeah, and so on my book, I've got DeAndre Hopkins at 340, Marquise Brown at plus 475. That is for anytime touchdown. I'm going to throw a touch of money on both of them.
No Noah Gray there?
Let's see what Noah Gray is. 400.
Saying tight end, you know?
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, Juju's there, Xavier Worthy.
Receiving grade this year for Noah Gray, specifically a lot of snaps, a lot of passing snaps this year. 8th best tight end in the league in receiving grade.
8th best.
Yep. 8th best in receiving grade. 19 snaps in 17, 23, and this is passing snaps to be clear. 23 snaps in 16, 19 in week 15, 20. So they do a lot of, like I said, you're looking at 2 tight end sets there, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, they do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
He's just so all over the place. But with Kelce out, that's I don't mind looking at that though. With Kelce out, because he's going to get all the number 1 shares now. That's actually that's a good angle there.
Just
I think any of those guys at 340, 400, 475, All you need is one of them to hit to be positive ROI.
I know. What does Noah Gray does have? Oh wow, he had two touchdowns in Week 11 versus Buffalo, 2 touchdowns versus Carolina on Week 12, and 1 against the Browns in Week 15. So he's got some looks.
Yeah, they use him. I mean, he gets a decent amount of playing time. Yeah,
he sure does. Dang, could get paid somewhere at some point.
Kansas City.
Yeah, maybe. All right.
Kelsey won't be there forever.
He won't, and he's getting older too. He's not getting any younger.
Nope.
All right, moving on. Chargers at Raiders. What you got? I took a glance at this. I think I know where you're at. What you got?
Yeah. So this is okay. So the number's 4.5 right now, and I look at this and I'm like, nobody wants to be the 6 or 7 seed in the AFC. You don't want to play the Bills or the Ravens. You want to be the 5 seed, and you want to go play the Texans. If the Bengals win tomorrow, this number is going to jump to at least 6. I think at least 6. So I am taking a bit of a gamble, and I'm taking Chargers minus 4.5, trying to get ahead of that narrative. Because if the Bengals beat the Steelers, the Chargers win, they clinch the 5 seed. If the Steelers win, and say the Ravens win too, the Steelers are the 5 seed. Chargers can't improve their position. So this game totally is dependent on what happens with Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. So here's another angle I took. I took Bengals money line and paired them with Chargers money line as a little parlay, because if the Bengals win, suddenly the Chargers are going to play their starters. I think if Steelers win, the Chargers rest their starters, and this number goes the other way. I don't know how far it goes. It's so hard to predict the market. Yeah. So anyways, I went ahead and snagged the 4.5, predicting the Bengals to win, and then I also took the Bengals and parlayed that with the Chargers.
I saw someone did that today on VSiN. I heard that same thing.
Oh, really? I actually didn't. I didn't hear that from anybody. I was just thinking about this.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what someone said. Swear. I was going to bet Bengals there. A lot of people have. I just don't trust it. They struggle so much in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's such a prideful team with Tomlin. I don't know. I think it's a real uncertainty for me. That's why I'm not sure on that one. Okay. Looking at this Chargers game, I was actually kind of browsing around with some stuff. More specific. I mean, I guess one thing you could say, if Chargers rest their starters, I could still see them playing Dobbins, because Dobbins only needs 58 rushing yards to make a $150,000 bonus.
Okay. So
they could shift to more of a run-heavy look there, just to get him his yards. So something to consider if that shapes out like that. Anyway, Raiders are terrible in the first quarter. So I slid on that. I got a good numbers why I did it. So they're 2-5 first quarter ATS at home.
Okay.
So that's why I slid on the Chargers first quarter. It was only -0.5, but I got it at plus 105.
Nice.
So that's what I have on this game. Yeah. But like you said, there's a lot of, things that could be at play. So I don't love anything here because it could, shift a number and everything like that coming in, etc. But another tidbit I saw when I was kind of browsing around, especially this is from the Action article. I thought they did a really good job. Aiden O'Connell, after the Raiders have a game, won a game straight up, Aiden O'Connell was 5-0 ATS.
No way.
Yeah. By covering about 8.5 points per game.
Wow. Would not have seen that one.
I don't know. I'm not going out here and betting Raiders, but I mean, something to consider. I mean, this Aiden O'Connell kid might still have a time in the league here if he's kind of doing this kind of thing. So yeah. And Raiders are even 3-2 straight up in those games, in those 5 games. So they've actually won 3. So after a win, I mean,
you usually don't hear the stat like that. It's like ATS after a loss or something, not after a win that we're 5-0.
I don't know. It's so weird.
It is.
Yeah. But here's another thing, and these things go either way. This is not necessarily a factor with Aiden O'Connell, but since 2003, Raiders are 50, 72-1 after a straight-up win, which is the worst mark of any NFL franchise.
Wow. That's worse than the Jets and Giants.
Oof. I know. Random. I know. I swear to throw that in. All right, the last one I got which is one of the only props that I could find, right? Mike Evans. Needs 85 yards? Is that right? To get his bonus over 1,000.
I am trying to pull that up here.
Yeah, Mike Evans needs 5 receptions, 85 reception yards for a $3 million bonus.
Yep. Okay. This is I did hear this is his highest prop number by 11 yards for the whole year.
Oh, really? Oh shit.
Yeah. So the books always know. Yeah, you got the better number on it. What?
It's at 97 last I saw, 97.5. I have 91.
Okay. Wow. So that just, I wonder if that's money or if that's the books adjusting.
I have no idea. I think 97.5 is way too high. I thought 91.5 was too high.
I've got 100.5.
Wow.
I am not taking that. I would
go. I would hammer under, actually.
Yeah,
because the minute that he gets 85,
done.
Yeah.
Yes, done. Exactly. That is way too big of a number. Whoa.
I wanted 87, right? Because you're buffering 2 yards that he runs for after he hits 85.
Yes, I understand that.
I'm going to be sweating 91.5 because I could see him getting like an 89, 90. I could. I'm not kidding. But I like the number, so I went for it because I knew it would blow up. So
I think that's a great call on your part because it did.
100.5, bro, no chance. I'd go under now.
I love the under on that.
I do too. You got to be on the right side of the right number, right?
Because you're so right. He needs 5 catches and 85 yards. Yeah,
so. Shoot, I don't even know if he gets 5 catches. I would hit under on that too.
What is his catch prop? Reception 6.5.
I would hit under.
I could
see under. 6 or 5.
I totally agree, man. Because yes, I am totally with you. But you got the best of the number that matters.
I know. Yeah. So I'm hoping to get that. So anyway, I'm just sliding that in here before we go. Is that I got that 91.5. We'll see what shakes out.
And then I guess before we move on, if we want to just real quick before we go here, let's read through these. We talked about some of the incentives. Here's some other ones we haven't talked about. Geno Smith needs 185 passing yards to earn a $2 million bonus. I should have pulled up these numbers beforehand. Cortland Sutton needs to clear 1,060, so he needs 82 yards to hit 500,000. Cortland Sutton. They can feed him. You already talked about J.K. Dobbins. You talked about Mike Evans. Tony Pollard you hit on. DeAndre Hopkins we talked about. MVS, he needs another touchdown, but he's questionable, so I don't love that bet. So anyways, quickly, those are just some other incentives if you want to look at that. But again, look at the number. Just like we talked about with Mike Evans, the number is going to matter on this because the books know these incentives too. They're all over Twitter. They're all over VSiN. They're everywhere. So just know that going in. But those are all the incentives this week.
Yeah, we got a big one there. Incentive Darnell Mooney, 992 receiving yards for the Carolina Panthers, 8 away from 1,000. There's incentives there for him.
Another one. Okay.
Yeah, that one's really good because that's like nothing.
Yeah.
And like you said, they're still playing. They're still fighting. So that could be more involved there.
And I believe they play before the Bucs, right? So they're not going to know the result of the Bucs game.
They play at the same time. So Panthers, Atlanta Falcons play at the same time. So they'll be watching the score.
Okay. You're right. Yep.
To say the least. Looking up, Mooney is at 53.5 at this time.
I don't mind that. Do not mind that.
So we'll see kind of how that shakes out. At 53.5. Oh, man. I've looked at his numbers earlier this week. I think I'll stay away. That's like right in a good spot. I could see under there. It's just not worth firing. Yeah, maybe wait and see if that gets to like 60.
Yeah, and then you go under.
And then go under?
Yes.
So I might do that. I might just wait till the last minute and this
might be the way the books are reacting just to like Mike Evans. It might be a week to wait until game time and go under after you let all the Joes come in and bump it up 20 extra yards, what it should be.
That's kind of what I wonder. That's what I do. I don't know. All right, let's see if I didn't even check this. No, I thought I had it, and that's not cool. Let me see. I had it earlier.
I believe you.
There we go. Sorry.
All right.
All right. Go ahead.
First.
Go ahead.
First. Okay.
Best bets. What you got?
Best bets. We got 3 of them. Panthers +8 versus Falcons. We're both on that, so we should cancel out of that one.
For real.
Same with the Chiefs +10.5. Same thing. Yeah. And then our Texans Titans over 37. Let's go. Just 3 this week. Week 18, hard week. Not as many bets for me. That's where I'm at.
I was gonna say with the if those 2 bets miss, the Panthers, I have 7.5, you have 8, and then the Chiefs, I have 10, you have 10.5, so you get a little bit better number on both. I'm never betting. I rarely do the ones that you have, but I'm never definitely betting again, just to confirm it. I only have 2, Cleveland Browns at Baltimore Ravens under 42, and then the Mike Evans. I have 91.5.
I guess that's cheating at this point. It could come back down if people are hitting under and 100.5. I guess shop around. The classic line is shop around. I'm sure there's a lot of books out there that have a lot of different things.
100%.
I don't like it much higher than over 91.5 because that's so close to his 85, right? But when we get to 100, like we're stopping, we're going the other way.
Yep.
Kind of as you said, like that's just way too high. You know what I mean? So that's my best bets. That's what we got. Alex will be at the Denver Broncos game to monitor bets. I'm sure it's probably pretty freaking hard there to live bet at a stadium.
Probably just like because the 5G connection with so
100%.
many people there. Yeah, I'll get all my bets in before. Yeah, because live bet, we're gonna want to, but
I know.
I don't know if I've tried a live football game before. Because I think because I haven't, it's been so hard. So I haven't. I should rephrase that. I have not tried in like 2 years because there's 80,000 people on there.
It's hard. It's incredibly hard. But all right, you heard it here first, and we'll catch y'all next time. See you.